Hi everyone, I'm sharing another process video for Peartree Cutfiles. I'm using the hashtag thisgirlcan cut file. I spoke to Marie and we came up with this cut file for International Women's Day, and it was free for a period of time over in the Peartree Cutfiles group. So I've cut this from both a pink cardstock and then I've overlaid it with a cutout from vellum. And then I've used the insides of the word can and cut that from patterned paper. So it's not great to, you can't see it, but now when I'm just lifting it up to stick it down, you can. So you have to be a bit careful with vellum because it does show any glue that you add on. So that's why I've put the glue behind the can, because I know that I'm going to cover that with these letters that are going to go over the top. I've also added a couple of dots under the This Girl section, which I'll plan to cover up with embellishment when I complete my layout. I just wanted to do something a little bit different with this page and tone down the bright pink cardstock that I'd cut out originally. So I'm going to use these two photos that are of me. One is with a paintbrush and the other is with an electric screwdriver. My partner is not the best at DIY, so it is often left to me, and he calls me Sarah Beanie. So I just wanted to document that, you know, I can do that if I want to. So I've made a background with a piece of patterned paper and added a piece of white cardstock on top, which I've stitched round in a pink thread on my machine. And now I'm just going to add these two round frames from the Cocoa Vanilla Daydream collection. I ended up with 2 packs of ephemera, so that's how I've ended up with 2 of these round frames, and I've had them for a while and I wasn't quite sure what to do with them, so I decided to use them on this page. Suddenly I had some inspiration. So I measured them, and then I've punched out 2 circles that will fit inside those frames. So I'm just going to work out roughly the kind of design that I want and where I want my photos to sit on this page, because I want them all kind of tucked in around that cut file and alongside those frames. So I'm going to back my photos on some patterned paper. This is just a piece from my scrap. I think it's from the Jen Hadfield The Avenue collection, but the colours tie in really well with the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection that I'm using. So I've cut them out, and then I just distress the edges with my scissors again. So I decide I'm going to add some pom-pom trim to those frames, so I'm just working out roughly where I want it to go, and then I'm going to add some tape to the back and stick it on. So I'm not going all the way around because part of that frame sits under the cut file, and I think the pom-pom trim would just be too bulky and would detract massively from that cut file. I just think wouldn't look right either. So I'm just making sure they're in place, and then I can start creating what I want for this layout. I'm just moving everything down a bit so it's central to the page. So everything's stuck down now, and it's time to just add my photos. So I'm doing what I often do, is sticking the bottom of the photo flush to the page and then popping the top up on foam pads to create a little bit of lift. And I'm just tucking it under that cut file. So I've just pulled out my ephemera for this collection, and I'm just looking at what I can use. I want to add some florals and a few other pieces like the hearts and things from this collection. I'm just pulling everything out before I decide what I'm going to use where. So I'm going to start by covering up those couple of areas of glue that I mentioned earlier on the cut file. So there was one little area on the hashtag, so I've covered that with a floral, and then because I've put a floral there, I want to add another one somewhere else, so I'm going to tuck that in under the N. I'm just going to start adding a few bits here and there. So I've got this lovely vine leaf shape to tuck under that floral, so then I do the same and add some green on the other floral, so it's kind of like alternating between the two. So I have another one of those vines that I do add under the other photo to kind of coordinate it all together. So I'm just adding the Our Happy Place banner piece. And now I go a bit crazy with the hearts, so you'll see I'm going to add loads of these die cut hearts. So some of them I've stuck flush to the background, and then others I've popped up on foam pads to overlap and add some dimension to the page. So because I've got kind of the two circle elements, I'm going to try and then do kind of a similar thing with the opposite corners kind of areas. So you can see I've gone with a big pink heart, and then I've overlaid a dark blue heart to the bottom right hand side, and then top left hand side I've gone with a big pink heart and a smaller blue heart. So I'm just trying to kind of create some kind of symmetry so that it looks like this page flows and nothing's on its own. So again, the tail of the L is where I've added a bit of glue to stick that vellum down, so I've added a small heart over that, and the same with the top of the S. So I've pulled out some of my perspective hearts, and I'm using the gold ones, and they've got a beautiful shimmer to them. You can't really see them in the video, but they're a beautiful metallic. So I'm just adding a few of them around this layout using glossy accents to stick them down. You can kind of see there, just where I've put them at the top, they kind of shimmer in the light. And they just add a bit of bling to this layout. Who knew that a layout about DIY could be so feminine and girly? So I finally add a bit of gold splatter to the bottom right and top left corners, just to add a bit more bling, and that's my finished layout. Thanks for joining me on YouTube today. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and as always, I'll leave all the links in the description below.